Hey Buckaroo fans, it's Buckaroo Bonsai, and yes, I am wearing my inside hat because it's far too warm to be in my office wearing a cowboy hat. And this is a preview for my contribution to a Fringe show, the Carlo comedy. I'm so excited to be part of it with some fantastic comedians. It's been going on at the Fringe all week. I am performing tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and on Friday, and again on Sunday. So come on down, but it's going every day. There's some fantastic comedians. Come and see me, brilliant, but more importantly, come and see them because they're much funnier and much better than me. So links are in the thingy. What do you call it? The link. The click, 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 click. Okay, let's do this. You ready? I'm ready. You ready? I'm ready. We can spin. So we spin. It's ready, ready, ready. Hi Fringers, I am Buckaroo Bonsai, and yes, I am a fairly pansexual man in a cowboy hat, kind of, and quite frankly, I look fabulous. Yep, enjoy it, my friends, you enjoy it because, mwah. Now, are you having a good time? Are you having a good time? I can't hear you. Having a good time? You enjoying the Fringe? Is it good? Well, that stops now, because quite frankly, I'm here. Other comics are there to make you laugh. They're here to make you chuckle. Well, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that because I'm shit at it. Instead, you are going to learn things. And trust me, there will be a test. Now, put your phones away, right? No cheating. By the way, when we do the test, lowest score in this room has to spend extra time with me afterwards. And let me tell you this. Take it from my ex-wife, several ex-boyfriends, and the parents who abandoned me when I was age 10, that's no fucking picnic. So, best pay attention, right? That joke might actually be a bit dark. Alright, do you know what? Fuck it. Strap in, right? I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I have a three-legged dog called Maisie. People will often see her. She's a little Shih Tzu. She's like, well, actually, she's more like, that makes her more like a dinosaur. Anyway. And people will come up to me and say oh, what happened? She's missing her front leg, right? Front arm. She's missing it. And people say oh, what happened? And oh, her leg's missing, what happened? And I always say to them, to be honest, it's her fault. I did tell her to stop barking. Now, don't worry, that's not true, right? Well, not the maiming bit. Three-legged dog, yes. She had cancer. But the vet cut it off, not me. I'm not a psychopath. It's not the kind of DIY thing where you nip to B&Q, pick up a saw, bit of sheet, and do you know I'm going too far into this. Move on. Now, I think that's funny. I genuinely think this is funny. But the RSPCA, God bless them, the RSPCA once emailed me and said, stop telling that joke on stage. You are making light and promoting dog abuse, right? Now, I know the phrase dog abuse is when you get dogs abuse, someone's just constantly at you. I never heard it. I never read it in this email in that context before. And it was you are promoting dog abuse. And I'm like, really? But anyway, so I had to stop talking about it. Can you believe that? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. I had to stop telling that joke. Bullshit. It is bullshit. Because she's dead. Yeah. Oh, don't give me that. When she died, she had 3 legs, she was 14 years old, she had no teeth, and quite frankly, she shouldn't have even been driving. Because she was fucking hammered. Right? Definitely. Jesus Christ, those poor orphans. Anyway, where am I? So I'm an academic. I'm technically a suicidologist. And don't worry. That whenever I say suicidologist, that impacts everybody. You can just hear everyone's arsehole in the room go proper close up. It's oh Jesus, you're not going to stop making jokes about suicide. What are you going to say? And don't worry, I'm not going to make jokes about suicide because I have found I'm not very good at it. Seriously, 4 attempts, I'm still here. Practice makes perfect, my bollocks. See, that is dark. You've got to stay positive, right? Every day I learn a bit more about suicide and prevention. It is my job, it's my passion, and I do take it seriously. But ironically, this also makes me the perfect person to take shopping for bath bombs and curries. Yeah. You like that one? It is a thinker. You got to think it through. Usually, whenever I tell that joke, it splits the room. Like between the oh my god, that's funny, and oh my god, that's in really poor taste. It's similar to the receiver and the giver during a blowjob, in my experience. Like, yeah, poor taste. Get it? Yeah. Suicide to sex as a palate cleaner for you. Well, 50% of you, ish. Anyway, let's focus on my expertise as a medical historian. Now, this is the stuff that I'm expecting you to take a test, and I've got a doctorate in this, so I expect you to do well. Because remember, you have to spend time with me. Nobody wants that, at least for you. Having a doctorate in medical history means essentially that I know a fuck ton of things about dead bodies. I nearly said naked bodies. That's a different thing. And he's definitely not a callback to the sex comments. That's ridiculous. Oh, that's horrible. That's gross. Incidentally, if you get consent from a psychic, does that make necrophilia okay? Who knew? Anyway, don't judge me. I'm going to be performing this in Edinburgh, right? And in Edinburgh, this is the home of grave robbing for science. Seriously, what they did in Edinburgh to hundreds of bodies, and I'm getting judged for that joke, that's double standards, right? Seriously, though, the amount of bodies that were nicked in the 1800s is absolutely crazy. To the point where people were just absolutely shit scared of having their bodies nicked after they died. You know, like they were hiding them, you know, put them down the back of the sofa. Mislabeling graves, I really enjoy that one. It's like, oh, Donald Duck, we're not going to pick him up. One of my favourite ways of doing it was they would create cannons. They put booby traps and they put these little fucking bombs, right? Like, so for example, what would happen is somebody would die and you usually have to dig it up because it goes manky really quickly. So they dig it up, and so the grave robber would like go to the grave in the middle of the night and they go at the head and they dig, and then they get down and then they smash through the coffin, right? Never thought you'd hear that words in a comedy set. Smash through the coffin, put a hook it in the nose, like that, and then pull, right? And they pull the body up, which is kind of cool, right? I think it's kind of cool. Maybe I'm weird, but there would be a chain connected to the legs, and the chain is then connected to a cannon that's directly in line, hidden in like the flowers of the grave, that would then blow the face off the grave robber. Fucking brain matter everywhere. 2 corpses for the price of 1. Now, I fucking love this Victorian mousetrap. It's awesome, right? I'm having this. When I die, I am having one of these cannons. Not because I'm particularly worried about grave robbers or necrophiliacs. I mean, look me, who wants this? Nobody. Goths. I don't want those sad fuckers listening to Green Day crying on my tomb, right? Sitting on my grave like, oh, woe is me. Like, anybody who sits on my grave, there you go. Where's your foot? Complain about that. Good luck in your next mosh pit. Anyway, do you want to know my favourite medical history story? Of course you do, because you're fucking listening to me still. Hysteria, right? Hysteria, story of hysteria is fantastic. Do you know how they used to treat hysteria? 150 years ago, in Edinburgh, they would wank women back to health. You know, we're talking literal rubbing them back to health, right? And anybody who's currently watching me do this motion knows how lucky anybody who's ever slept with me is, yeah? Especially the guys. Can you imagine, like, a bloke going to his GP? Like, it was only for women, and this always amuses me, this idea of, like, we're going to masturbate women back to health, but we're only going to do it for women. Because I reckon if it was for blokes, you'd have blokes queuing up at their GPs, like, hiya, doc, I've got a bit of seasonal affective disorder. No problem, Mr. Henderson. Lie down. Try not to make eye contact. I don't know. It's not blowjobs. They never did blowjobs for a medical. And it was a medical program. It was a medical routine. This is a real thing, right? The problem is something happened very quickly to doctors, and it's a 3-word problem, and those words are repetitive strain injury. That's right. Doctors were writing into medical journals like the British Medical Journal and the Lancet in the late 1800s, in the late Victorian period, complaining that their wrist hurt from wanking too many women. Poor them, right? I love this. So then you get this clever guy. His name was Dr. Joseph Mortimer Granville. Write that down, right? He invents a solution. He comes up with the vibrator, right? And for years, this is where I've been telling the story about women climbing onto their dining room tables, pushing the dishes to the side as the doctor comes in, knocks on the door, and he's like, "Oh, I'm here for Mrs. Brune's wank." Gets shown into the dining room. The dining room, incidentally, because usually in Victorian houses, the only place there was a plug socket was in the dining room or the study, and it tended to be the light socket. So the dining room is now the wankatorium, as the Mrs. Brune is preparing herself for some medically sanctioned fiddle time. But it's not true. And I'm really upset about this. Not least because I've taught about 700 students something which I now know is fake history. Sorry. Anyway, Granville invented the vibrator. This is true. But he immediately banned its use on women. What a bastard. He said that he wouldn't support, and I like this is the direct quote, feminist demands for deceptive vaginal stimulation. Oh yes, we've all fallen foe of the feminist demands for deceptive vaginal stimulation in our time, haven't we? Yeah. He literally wrote a ban on the clitoris. What a cunt, ironically. What he demanded was that it would be used on men. Purely used on men. Toothache, vibrate the jaw. Impotence, stimulate the perineum. If you don't know what the perineum is, Google it. I refuse to lower my standards and explain. It's the middle bit between the ass and the balls. Yeah. Constipation is my favourite. If you were constipated, Granville decided you inserted it 12 inches into the rectum. I just want you to think about that for a second. 12 inches. And I'm talking a proper 12 inches, not what we tend to tell people is 12 inches, chaps. Now, some would say, what an absolute bastard. But as far as I'm concerned, what a fucking hero Granville was, right? He invented the world's first medical-grade vibrating dildo. And what did he do with it? He used it exclusively to bugger straight men. And honestly, as someone who has spent a lot of his life doing the same thing, I salute the guy. Thanks so much. I've been Buckaroo Bonsai. Hand in your test answers, and good luck to who gets to spend more time with me. Love you. Bye.